Video games just aren't fun anymore. You've probably said that or heard your friends say that, and then proceed to keep playing games, but every time you get on, it just doesn't feel the same. Now, most people have thought about this, and they normally just say that new games that are coming out just aren't made good or are poorly designed. But there's an actual reason behind this. Now, if I were to say, hey, remember the time when you hopped on Call of Duty Zombies and got to round 40 with your friends? You probably do remember that. It was most likely during Christmas break and you were having fun. But I can tell you right now that if you were to hop on with the person you play with all the time and said, hey, remember yesterday? They would most likely just say us playing Valorant or whatever game you play. They wouldn't say anything specific. They just say the game you played, unless like you won a bunch of games. But other than that, they would just say all we did was play a game. And there's actual reasons behind this that are even studied, showing why people find games now not as fun as it used to be back when they were kids. Hell, I bet right now if you were to go ask your dad saying, hey, do you remember that game you used to play all the time on a console called Atari? He'd most likely say yeah and say the game Pong. He would say that was the most fun he ever had when he was a kid. Or maybe some arcade game. And there's a reason why they were so fun back then. And I'm not talking back in the 1960s with your dad playing Pong where it's just two controllers hitting a ball back and forth. I'm talking about just as little as 10 years ago. Before we get into this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm really trying to hit 10k before the end of the year and it really does help. Also, if you comment, I'll most likely respond as long as you aren't commenting something like this. But anyways, let's get into the video. So who here remembers this?
Good. That's one less loose end.
Area is sanitized. All targets destroyed. Solid copy. No movement detected. 2-6 going into holding pattern.
On that day, when people all over the world saw that mission and played it, they felt emotions towards a in-game character, towards a thing that was happening that wasn't real. But let's say you didn't play Call of Duty during that time. I'll show you something that you most likely will know.
Hello, this is Stampy, and welcome to a Minecraft Let's Play video. How's it going, bros?
If you don't know what those videos are, you're either not from a generation that started playing Minecraft, or you literally had no childhood. But for the people who do know what that song is, you probably remember the times when you would build weird creations with your friends and do all these wacky things that made no sense at all. Something that other people probably wouldn't understand, like your parents, but you had fun doing it. And that's all that really mattered. So that brings me to the point why games are not that fun now as they used to be. And if you remember what I just said like 5 seconds ago, it's what you thought was fun and it didn't really matter. Games now are based off of a competitive standpoint, and there is unrated, but no matter what, it's about who's better. And I know ever since the beginning of time, there's always been a winner and a loser. But think about it, when you were playing Call of Duty as a kid and you would see that defeat screen, you didn't care. When you were playing Battlefield and you lost, you didn't care. The point was you had fun. Games now are sadly built off the fact of who's just winning. And that brings me to another point. A lot of people say, oh, you play Roblox? That's sad. It's a game made for kids. Well, think about this though. What's more sad? Let's say me, I play Roblox a decent bit, I'm not going to lie. And I have fun on that game, and I enjoy playing it sometimes with friends. So let's say me, a person who is enjoying a game that isn't really made for me, or a person who's spending most of their time trying to get better at a game that doesn't really bring them enjoyment at all, like Valorant. And I know some people may be saying, but I actually enjoy Valorant, it's a game I like playing. And you may be right, you actually do enjoy the game, and that's just a game you specifically like. Or you could not like the game itself. You may just like either playing with people, or you're really good at the game. I actually personally didn't like Valorant until I put more than 500 hours in just training. And I took that training and did something with it, but a lot of people don't. So think about it. The next time you get on Valorant, would you be playing the game if you had no friends that played it? Or would you even be playing the game if you weren't that good at it? For everything I just said, that wasn't a problem for back then during Call of Duty or early Fortnite. Back then when Call of Duty was in its early stages, and I shouldn't say early stages for Call of Duty, I should say early stages for us. Everybody when we started to play it back then on Black Ops 2. But during these early stages, it was actually the best. Back then, you were forced to socialize with random people, and it wasn't like you going to their house and bring your console in order to play the game. It was more like it forcing you to talk to your teammates. Now, it is completely optional to talk to your teammates if you want to or not. But back then, there was no option. If you wanted to play with your friend, you were also forced to talk to your teammate. And that was something I actually enjoyed. You would have to talk to random people and, be friendly. Here, let me show you a picture from 2011, and you may not know what it is. If you don't know what this was a tournament for Call of Duty back in 2011. Yeah, tournaments weren't done online. They were all done in person, in very hot, sweaty rooms. I remember I would wake up and be so excited to watch FaZe. Yeah, the clan everyone wanted to be in, get ready for their tournaments and verse random people that you may not even know today. And you may be saying, how does any of this apply to me? I never really knew about competitive stuff and all of that back then. I never really cared. Well, that's the thing. You didn't care about competitive. You didn't really care about who was winning the next big tournament. And think about this, most people who play Call of Duty now don't even watch their favorite creators on YouTube. Most of the time when they're on YouTube to watch a video, it's to figure out how to make the best class possible just to get that slight advantage in people in game. Back then, if you were to watch a video on Call of Duty, it was literally how to do an Easter egg in zombies, or how to find Slendermen in Call of Duty, and it wasn't real. I figured that out the hard way. Also, think about this. Whenever you get into a game with a master prestige in Call of Duty, if you do play Call of Duty, what do you think? Wow, this guy doesn't go outside. This guy really doesn't do much with his life. Let me tell you this, back then, if I got into a game with a master prestige, I would be freaking out. I would try to get that guy on my friends list. I wouldn't even know who this person is, but I'd be like, I need to be around this guy. He's like a god to me. And this is during a time when being good didn't really matter also. You can also probably recall the times when you would be going so negative in a game that it would be a joke today, that you would be embarrassed to show anybody those stats. Back then there was no ranks. Like, this is a picture that was posted on Call of Duty that everyone got, and it was just a message saying go easy on new players because Call of Duty was becoming cheaper on Christmas, and it just knew that a bunch of new people would be playing. But it also knew people wouldn't go easy on these new players, but they also knew the game wouldn't be not fun for them. Also, here's another thing. When was the last time you've seen a big video, something super viral happen on a game recently? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you some clips, and you may know what I'm talking about from these.
Of survival. Well, it's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh! Oh my god! Oh! Oh my fucking god! Oh! Oh! Get this fucking... Oh! No! Get the camera! Money! Money!
Happy feet. Wombo combo. That ain't Falco. That ain't Falco. Oh! Oh!
Sadly, I wasn't born during a time when I could experience that live. I wasn't old enough, or I just simply wasn't alive yet. But what I'm happy to be there for was the times when everybody was saying Leroy Jenkins in game. And the thing was, nobody even really knew where that came from, at least the people my age. And people screaming, oh my god, get the camera, in Call of Duty with their shitty mics. And that was so fun to us. But now those moments just don't happen anymore. And another thing is, memes. Memes were such a big thing for so long. Back then, it started with a colorful dancing frog that was just spinning its head. Well, not really spinning, but, you know, moving it up and down. And then all the way to like the last meme I can remember of these weird little Sonic looking guys saying, "Do you know the way?" But that doesn't mean you can't have fun on games anymore. Games have always been meant to have fun on since they were ever created. So that means you just have to find what you find fun, not what other people find fun. And also see what your friends like, because games aren't fun just playing by yourself. Unless it's, you know, some story mode game, then I guess it can be fun. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, and I know I said this earlier, but make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help so I can keep making more videos like this. And till next time, guys, see ya.